Ooh, look at that. It's that kind of medium boiled, kind of jammy. I want to lick this off the knife, but I'm not going to. So once your water comes to a boil, you're going to gently drop 2 eggs, in my case, into the pot. And then you're just going to let it cook for 7.5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer and let that keep going. This is a little different from the onsen tamago that I made in a different episode. You are going to just let this keep rolling, kind of like how you were just making regular, like medium boiled eggs. The amount of time, I tend to like that kind of jammy, soft center that's not super runny, which is technically a medium boiled egg. So we're going to do 7.5 minutes. Depending on the pot that you're using, depending on how many eggs you have in there, your length of time for cooking might vary just a little bit, like 15 seconds here, 15 seconds there. If you do end up cooking this so it's hard boiled, it's not going to necessarily taste different. It's just going to be a little bit different texture because the yolk part is going to be cooked through and it's going to be a little bit drier than that kind of jammy, medium boiled custardy egg center that you're used to when you have a ramen egg. I know ramen has gotten super popular here in the States. Ramen has always been popular in Japan. In the wintertime, you have all these like flavorful, like heavy broths and everything's like hot and steamy. And in the summertime, we have something called Hiyashi Chuka, which is chilled Chinese, which is the literal translation, but it's literally a chilled ramen dish, which is served usually kind of on a shallow bowl rather than like a big old regular ramen bowl. And it's got this like more vinegary sauce to it. But in both instances, one of the things that is like super, super popular and super common is a ramen egg, which in Japanese is called Ajitsuke Tamago, which literally means flavored egg. Ajitsuke means dipped in flavor or flavor added or flavored, and tamago literally just means egg. So now that we've come to 7.5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and turn off the heat completely. And we're going to transfer these eggs to a bowl of ice water. Because you want to go ahead and just stop that cooking immediately. Because if you keep cooking, then you'll end up with a hard-boiled egg. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for a second. And while we're waiting for that to kind of chill out, we're going to go ahead and make our dipping sauce, which is super simple to make. You know my love for dashi or tsuyu, which is the concentrated soup base. We're using, this is 1/3 cup, which is 100 cc's. You're going to add another 1/3 cup of water to this just to thin it out. Like I've mentioned in other episodes, the concentration can be diluted to use for a bunch of different things. You can thin it down so you can use it as a soba dipping sauce. You can thin it out just a little bit more as a like a soup base if you're going to put like tofu and things like that in it. You can actually use less water and it becomes like a dipping sauce for tempura. It's really a kind of, it covers so many things in Japanese cuisine. So yes, I know that I can make tsuyu from scratch if you want to research that, and I'm sure that I'll do a how to make tsuyu recipe one of these days, but for the time being, a good bottle of tsuyu, which is the concentrate, is perfect. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so for 1/3 cup, you're going to add another 1/3 cup. And you're going to put that into a Ziploc bag. Now I like these that have the flat base on the bottom. And then you're going to pour that mixture right into the bag. Set this aside for the time being. Make sure you close it so that you don't spill it everywhere if it tips over. And we're going to go ahead and peel our eggs. Everybody has their method of how to peel an egg. I personally like doing it over a bowl of water because you can kind of dip the egg as you're going, kind of clean off those tiny little eggshells, and actually get a little bit of water between the shell and the egg. I think it kind of makes it easier to peel that way, but that's just me. And then this goes right into your tsuyu bag. And I'm going to close it while I peel the other one. Once you have the eggs in the bag of tsuyu, you want to kind of get as much air out of it as possible so that the whole thing is kind of submerged on all sides. You don't want to have like a bit just kind of laying on top, because then it won't turn that kind of delicious brown color that you get from the tsuyu. And then this just goes into your fridge. You can keep it overnight. If you want this to get flavored as quickly as possible, don't throw it in the fridge, just leave it on your countertop for like an hour. It is cooked, so it should be okay. Although I kind of traditionally just kind of put it in the fridge overnight because I usually just make this at night so it's ready for me in the morning. And so let me go put this in the fridge. I'm going to come back because I actually made two that I made last night, so we can take a look at what it looks like. So these are the eggs that I made overnight. Same 1-to-1 tsuyu to water ratio, and we're going to go ahead and take these out. Ooh, kind of slippery. Let's go ahead and slice them up and see what it looks like. Ooh, look at that. It's that kind of medium boiled, kind of jammy. I want to lick this off the knife, but I'm not going to. It's such a good, the texture looks amazing. The tsuyu has flavored the egg kind of all the way, kind of halfway through, so the egg white actually has that kind of tan color to it that you recognize with ramen eggs. And give it a taste test. Mm. It's delicious cold. If you just let it sit out on the countertop for like an hour and you want to enjoy this kind of warm, like straight out of the hot water and into the tsuyu sauce, it's also delicious that way. This is great over just a plain bowl of rice. It's great just by itself. And as you know, it's perfect on ramen. I really hope you try this recipe at home. It's so simple, such a quick little high protein snack that has all the umami flavor from the soy and the mirin and the sake, that all those flavors that are inside tsuyu, that dashi broth. Yeah, it's a good egg.